सबको मेरा नमस्कार. And today is a very auspicious day for us because today is the birthday of Swami Vivekananda. And about him, if I want to say something, it won't be appropriate because he is like an ocean and who was given the direction and for the upliftment not only our country but the entire world. And today also is a youth day, and India is a country of youths at this moment, and that's why we are celebrating the Swami Vivekananda birthday as a youth day. And today's topic is very important for our country because we are at the crossroad and where we need to look at our past heritage and go forward with a colorful and very ambitious plan re-establishing ourselves. All of you might be knowing Swami Vivekananda, but I just want to show you something about its life history and what about others who have commented on his achievements and his work within a very short span of life, what he was having. We are very unfortunate that he passed away at the very early age. So I welcome all of you to a usual talk, that is rebuilding of Mother India and vision of Swami Vivekananda. And you have just heard how this world have revered him as a gigantic spiritual saint and who re-established the knowledge tradition of our country in the pre-independence era. And of course, you can note one thing, like I am working as a part of Awake Mother India, and which is the need of the hour, because today we Indians are not aware of our culture and heritage, being educated and being privileged of having a lot of resources at our disposal. And therefore, we are trying to particularly make aware the youth who are not bothered about this country at this moment, because that is the experience, that is the thing what I got during my interaction with around 35,000 students across the country. And we will be looking at this topic little more vigorously, particularly the vision of Swami Vivekananda, who had a dream of making a very powerful country and which can give the direction to the entire world. And if you look at, this is the globe where our country is a very tiny across the entire land mass what we are having. Of course, this is a little synced version what we are having. Earlier days we are having Pakistan, Bangladesh and Afghanistan and other parts of the land. But the culture of India was there in a larger part of the particularly Southeast Asian. It has percolated to that. And today we have shrunk, and then if you look at, this is our country, and of course the color is not coming over here properly due to something, but you might be knowing that what is the meaning of tricolor, what this symbolize, that wheel, all those things are to be looked at. And let us look at, Swami Vivekananda is known as a spiritual giant, but I looked at him as a patriotic saint. And when you look at his face, he is like a warrior. he is like a patriot who are having a youth. You look at his eyes, you will feel energy as if it is flowing through that. Am I right? So that is the look. When you look at it, you get energy, and that is the beauty of the Swami Vivekananda. And he wants to have a rejuvenated India, to have a powerful. वो चाहते थे कि भारत एक बलशाली, वित्तशाली, वैभवशाली देश बने, लेकिन हम बन पाए क्या? 72 साल हो गया. After the 72 years of independence, we need to relook at this moment whether we have achieved that or not. And what he was telling, how he was telling, I am an Indian and every Indian is my brother. Do we feel that way? That all of we are a part of a family? Do we feel that today? We are only worried about our own work, own thing, own bread and butter. That's all. We are living like an animal. From morning to night, we go for food, for shelter, for this thing, that thing, name and fame. But we never feel that we are a part of the country. Everybody are a part of it. What he is saying, the ignorant man, the poor and the destitute Indian, the Brahmin Indian, the Pariya Indian is my brother. The Indian is my brother and India is my life. How many of you think that India is my life? It is very pity that we have not learned from him who had told this thing, and we have not imbibed that thing. India's God and goddesses are my God. India's society is the cradle of my infancy, the pleasure garden of my youth, the sacred heaven, the Varanasi of my old age. The soil of India is my highest heaven, and the good of India is my good. If 10% of India population could imbibe this thing, I don't think that any country can come and tell and arm twist us. We'll be the forefront of among all the countries of the world, and we can give them direction what is to be done, provided we follow the spirit of Swami Vivekananda. And what he says, Swami Vivekananda, nationalism is deeply rooted in the Indian spirituality and morality. And spirituality is important, what we call dharma, sanatan dharma. जय धारयति इति धर्म, जो धारण करेंगे उसको धर्म कहा जाता है. और धारण क्या करना है? धारण मानवता को धारण करना है. हम लोग मनुष्य जन्म लिए हैं, but we don't have qualities of a human being because we are all running after food, shelter. These are the job of food. That is the job of an animal. We are living like an animal, but in the man form. Now, if we leave that dharma, and dharma is very important because it joins the people. Religion spoils the people. It separates the people. There is a difference, diametrical difference between the spirituality or the dharma and the sampradaya or the religion. Religion divides the people. And what we need to have, we need to have a country which should not be dharma nirapaksha rashtra. It should be धर्म सापेक्ष राष्ट्र. धर्म हमारा जीवन का, मानव जीवन का अंग है, लेकिन वही विवेकानंद ने कहा है. Swami Vivekananda has told about this thing, but we do not understand, and that is the nationalism what he is talking about. It is not parochial, it is not dividing the people, it is not dividing the region, it is the combining the region, and that is the universalism, that is the nationalism what he is talking about. Swami Vivekananda stirred the hearts and minds of Indians with enthusiasm for strength and fearlessness. Today, all are frightened. All of the disease what we are getting because of fear. 80% of diseases are psychosomatic in nature. And a lot of my youth friends are depression. Why? Because they are fear. They are the fear of not getting a job. But that should not be the case. It is the fearlessness. What is the manliness? And that is the strength. And what he has asked for? He has asked for to ready for the service and self-sacrifice for the nation, not for the selfish. And most of us are selfish in nature, like an animal. So that is the crux, what we are really lacking, and what he had given us something around 120, 30 years back, and we have not imbibed till today. I'm sorry to say this, but it is a time to look at it. And Swami Vivekananda once exhorted, arise and awake, stop not till the goal is reached. Let us unite, work for our country with purity, patience and perseverance. As the Swami felt long ago that these three are the essential to success. It is not only for getting the material success, it is also the getting the spiritual success. And spirituality is the birthright of a human being. You cannot separate it out. And when you separate it out, you are going to the deathbed. And that is the thing what we are doing as a nation. So let us look at how can this nation be best described. Can any of you tell me how you want to describe this country? Any idea? You are a part of the country. You should know how to describe. And this country is not same as the other countries, right? So how you are going to describe? All of you know whatever he has to. So a multicultural, multilingual, non-violent, peace for all the country with various tradition being followed by the countrymen. And this was the ethos on which Bharat was established. You may not be knowing what is the meaning of Bharat. Any of you know? If you do not know, if I have asked the question, I am not going to answer. As a teacher has to ask the question. And the student has to answer, get the answer. If not get it, you will have to find it out and let me know. So coming back to that, what then was the Swami Vivekananda expound on this vast nation? What he has really asked us to become like that, and that is, to me, Indian is one who has got Vedantic brain. You should have a Vedantic brain. What is the meaning of that? You have to ask the question. You have to explore the question. India was a land of seers. It was not a land of followers. Today we are copycats. We cannot copy other people. दूसरे के जूती में पहन के आगे नहीं बढ़ सकते हैं. So we cannot be a follower, and follower can never be leaders. And we are just following the Western people, and we are digging our own graveyard. So therefore it should have a Vedantic brain, and which probes the deep and soar high. That is the Vedantic brain, because we are the country of researcher. We are a country of truth seeker. But where are the truth? We do not seek anything today. We only seek the food. So therefore, an Islamic body that is vibrant and valiant, and a Buddhist heart for overflowing and compassion and kindness, Christian limbs of service and sacrifice. If we just do this thing itself, India will be a unified country which can give direction to the entire globe, and it can reduce the fear of war, what we are amassing the arm and ammunition and spoiling the lot of wealth for just have a war in future. What we are doing? We are spoiling the earth because of the war, imminent war. So if we will do that and we can give the direction to the people, then we will be really the leaders of the world. So is it not a magnanimous idea for Mother India? Yes or no? So, and what does constitute a great nation? Can anybody tell me? Because if you want to be a great nation, you must know what it is. According to me, this question should be debated and discussed, and it will be part of the curriculum for all the colleges and schools of India. Unfortunately not. Because you are here not for your food, you are here to make a country. to dedicate your life for the society, for the nation. So what are those things? So what he says, that unity in the masses. We are diversified. Our main thing is that unity in diversity. That is the beauty. That is the thing what is natural to the mother nature. And with no separation based on the caste, race or gender. But what is happening today? We are all divided. And divide and rule, which was basically designed by the Britishers, and our own people are using it more vigorously. Am I right or wrong? So wealth, power and the honor and the right money and other things are very essential. Education forms the backbone of a country. But what kind of education we are imparting today? We are imparting to the students the education which will spoil them, because that makes them not a human being, but a living robots. So then what they will do? That's why I am saying this education is making man inhuman. We don't need this education. Given a chance, please don't give this education to the people and spoil them. So therefore, but however, education is essential to make human being, make a man, and then you'll have to make a devta or the godhood. And what is a godhood? You are having characteristics. There are 26 characteristics as per the Bhagavad Gita is concerned. So therefore, today modern education is making man not only human being human, but inhuman, but asura, what I call, according to Bhagavad Gita. So therefore, I will not dwell upon all the characteristics of what is being enjoined in the scriptures of Bhagavad Gita. They have done a lot of research. They have told the properties of asura, okay, and the properties of a devata. They have discussed about it. So if you look at the spiritual is the sanctum of the life, sanctum. And that is our tradition, spiritual tradition, moral values needs to be nurtured and practiced in every act of life. But are we practicing? We do not know, we are not aware of it. We only keep the dogmas and some rituals without understanding them. Most of earlier rituals were having some logic. Today people do not know. When I ask them why you are doing, I don't know. I will get something, maybe I will get a pass in exam, or I will get a good job, that's why I am doing. That is not the reason why you will do the rituals. And the selfless love and serve are an integral part of Indian life and of a nation if you want to do. Yajna pratishta deva, right? Yajna means basically selfless work, which is a part of our life. 5 yajnas are to be done by a what you call family person every day. I will not discuss about it because it will take time, but those are the part of our culture earlier days. Today we do not know what is that even. Forget about practicing it. The proper use of science and technology. Today the science and technology is a big problem, challenging, because the whole world is in trouble because of misuses, abuses of technologies. Global warming and other problems we are facing, and these are the problems. So the industrialization and the manufacturing products of the homeland is very essential. What we are doing? What he is talking about at that time is the cottage industries, because we are a country of 135 crore people, and we should not do mechanization. We should do our art and culture, that is the cottage industries, so that people will get job. But what we are doing? We are doing automation and then machines, and then we are spoiling the creativity of the people. Are you getting a point? So therefore, we are really damaging our country by just copying the Western people. And what Swami Vivekananda had a vision, had understood what is to be done. Look at what a visionary person he was. And we didn't look at his work for our development of nation in last 72 years. We lost 72 years. We have spoiled our country. So, and what is the present situation? Is it we are doing well as a country, as a nation, as a society? We may have materialistic manifestation of having technologies, but those technologies are spoiling us as a human being, as a society, as a what you call our nature. So therefore, we need to really worry about it. What are the things? The Indian state has constantly deteriorating last 77 decades. Am I right? On all, you cannot believe anybody today. Even you won't believe in the family, you won't believe your own siblings. Forget about anybody else. So that means that thing is deteriorating. There is a crime, there is a lot of problems. What are the causes? What are these downfalls? These are basically incompetent, corrupt leadership. Yes or no? Today, where are the leaders? The leaders means नेता. जो नीति के आधार पर चलता है उसको नेता कहा जाता है. अभी नेता लोगों का नीति है क्या? है? नहीं है तो नेता कैसे बन जाओगे? ना नीति वो जानते हैं. भारतवर्ष में कितना नीतियां बनाए हैं. विदुर नीति है, बहुत सारे नीति है. हम लोग जानते हैं क्या? नहीं पढ़े, नहीं जानते हैं. वो हमारा देश का चीज को हम नहीं जानते हैं तो कौन जानेगा? तो वो भी नहीं जानते हैं. Inept bureaucracy, ineffective judiciary system, inhuman education system. This education is spoiling the people. What we are, imparting. People are giving all their lives. The father and mother, parents, all the money they are putting and giving to this education institute, and they are spoiling them. And educated people became anti-national because they are not about nation. They are only bothered about their own selfish interest. So therefore, eroding the family life. Family was the backbone of our life. That is the last entity. वो इकाई था समाज का, वो खतरे में. तो क्या करना है? हमारा देश बिगड़ रहा है, बिखर रहा है, और फॉलोइंग द वेस्टर्न लाइफस्टाइल ब्लाइंडली. भाई दूसरे का जूती पहन के आगे जा सकते हो क्या? If you are following something, you cannot really do anything for your life. You are a follower just. You are a slave. And we are leading a slavery life. And the cultural invasion today, there is an invasion without any knowledge on our culture and heritage. Am I right? So that is the thing we need to look at. What these invaders, the foreigners who own over us militarily, but they couldn't spoil, but our own people are inviting these multinational companies in the name of giving jobs to our people and spoiling our culture to the point of no return. And if the culture won't be there, then the nation won't be there, because that is the soul of nation. Am I right? A soul without body or body without soul is useless. Yes or no? Suppose you are having a hardware but software is not there. Can you use your computer? It's useless. So that is happening, and they are corrupting our culture. They are spoiling our culture. They are making us useless, and we became a barbaric country. So therefore, we need to look at these are the problems. What are our shortcomings? Corruption. Corruption in any form. That has become is a big problem. Unemployment. You know that last 45 years today and this year we are more number of unemployment. Let me tell you, with this artificial intelligence, with this robotics, all those things are coming. And it will be not that robots will get job, not the human being. And this is going to happen in this country, let me tell you, at this moment. Now, we need not to be swayed by their Western way of looking at things, because this country is 135 crore today. And by another 5 years will be the most populous country in the world. Do you know that? What is the population of China? It is something 138 crore. Only 3 crore difference. Maybe within 2-3 years we will just cross them. What is the size of land of China? Any idea? No idea. 3 times. USA. What is the size of USA? 3 times of India. What is the size of USA? It is 5 times of India's size. And population, much lower. Right? If you look at USA population is around 33 crore or around 35 crore. But we are 135 crore. This is a populous country. Now that should be the strength. That should not be the weakness. We'll have to find out, convert your weakness to the strength. That is the need of the hour. But we are not looking at it. So this is the law and order, poor governance, mismanaged economy. People do not know what is economy. What is the primary component of economy? Wealth. Economy is basically, what is the primary wealth? If I ask you people, do you know? You might have taken an economic course. Economic professor might have taught you, but they do not know also what is primary wealth. Okay, so also our leaders, they do not know what is primary wealth. Primary wealth is important, secondary wealth is not important. Am I right or wrong? Do you know what is primary wealth? Can anybody tell me? No, no? Because anyway, primary wealth is your agricultural product. Okay, that is the primary wealth. Yes or no? Because Anna Pratishta Deva, without food, nothing will move. So therefore, that is important. But farmers are at the receiving end. Farmers should be given the more important than any other people in this country or anywhere in the world. But unfortunately, farmers at the receiving end, they are committing suicide. It's the same on us that we didn't do anything. We are not bothered about it. We are the taking food because of their labor, their work. So we have not understood the culture of our country, because हमारा शास्त्र कहता है agriculture is very important. Krishi, go raksha vanijyam. These are the things which are important as enjoined in our scriptures, and it is important according to my understanding, whatever I have understood little bit. The violence and unrest, terrorism and internal strife, rich and poor divide. There is a gap. Huge gap. This gap is increasing day by day. Is it the right thing? Is it the good for our nation? It's not. Environmental pollution, हवा को हम जहरीला बना दिए, नदी को नाली बना दिए, पानी को नष्ट कर दिए, विकास कर रहे हैं. ये विकास है ना विनाश है. This is not a development, it's a destruction. So that we need to understand. And pollution, very important thing, pollution of human mind. We have polluted the human mind. They don't have mind to think today. That is a very big problem. And they're thinking in a negative way. So the deterioration of values in family life, commercialization of education, and injustice. These are the shortcomings of our country at this moment. That means from this, if I diagnose this, our country is not in a right direction. Am I right? Yes or no? Yes, right? So what are the causes of our downfall? Why you are like that? That question should come to your mind, because we are an independent country. We are a growing country, what people are talking. We are the populous country of the world. I mean, one of the second populous, but we are going to be crossing China. We will be number 1 in population. Now we need to look at what are the causes of downfall. And the Swami Vivekananda says millions were oppressed in the name of religion. This has spoiled, right? And in the chief cause of India's ruin was the monopoly of education by few belonging to a privilege. Of course, at that time, today, a lot of people are getting education. But that was the case. We Indians shut ourselves from the outside world, did not go out, did not compare notes with other nations. That is also, at that time, this is the old thing what he was talking. Today, we are doing more interaction and we are spoiling in the process also. Right? Just copying them. So India totally lacked the faculty of organization. That is true even today. People are not organized themselves as a nation, as a society. They are just working hard. Let me tell you, Indians are very energetic people, whatever knowledge I am having. But their energy is going west because they are not doing in an organized manner. And they are lacking the obedience, not obedient, and the first requisite for organization obedience, which will act as a race, that he has diagnosed, and that is true today. Everybody wants to be a leader, but who will be followers? Everybody wants to manage the thing, but who will be the, this? Everybody wants to teach the lesson, but who will, who are the students? You first to be a student. If you are not a student, you cannot be a teacher. That is very important thing. But people want to be teacher. So this is the problem, and which is a part of our society, and we'll have to change it. How we are going to change it? That is the question. We are lazy. We cannot work. We cannot combine. We do not love each other. Love is the panacea for all the problems of life. And love is eternal. Am I right? But we do not experience the love in life. Of course, you can talk about love, boy and girl, that is a different thing. Right? That's why Bhagavad Gita has told very rightly, if you want to get God, you will have to do good to others with love. Sannimendriya gamang sarvatra shamabuddhaya papnuvanti mameva sharva bhuta hite rata. If you want to feel the, infinite of the God, you will have to take care of all living organisms. Sarva bhuta is not only human being. It is all things entire of the world and cosmos. That is the beauty of our scriptures. So he is talking about, that means without jealousy of each other, we'll have to live. And these are the things, qualities, what should a human being should have. And all these qualities are a part of asuric or asura qualities, or a subhuman beings, I can say. So here diagnosed degradation was trampling of the woman. Jatra Naryanta pujyante tatra mante devata. That means when the woman is worshipped, there only God prevails. That was our Shastra says. But today, of course, there is a change. But there is a change in a reverse way. Western way of woman emancipation. That is creating a gulf between the man and woman. And that is dividing our society. That is not the society what our ancestors was aware about it or told us to do. It is there like a man and woman at the two sides of a coin, that is a life. They should not quarrel each other, they should complement each other. That is important. That always we discuss about it, always our society used to live. Today, of course, we are following Western people and spoiling ourselves. That's why because of Shakti was held and dishonor here, right? Because embodiment. Our Bhagavad Gita says, Maya adhyakhena prakriti shuyate sacharacharam. Prakriti is basically feminine gender. So that is the thing which makes all things to happen. So therefore, that is very important. And the corruption, particularly in public life, has become yet another major cause. And that was there also at that time. And today it has been multifold. It has entered into the mind of our people, even to the cell of human beings, Indians particularly. Now, how to eradicate that is a very mind-boggling question, or $1 million questions. So, what will be a future for India? Whether India will die, because if you look at the picture is very gloomy. Yes or no? This picture, whatever I have given, most of you might be agreeing, maybe one or two may not agree. But we can discuss that. But if that is the truth, then whether we are going to die as a country, whether we are going to die as a country, can India die? That is a question we should ask. But let me tell you, if India will die, then the whole world will die. Because whatever the wisdom and our ancestors were having, they were having this wisdom, whatever they have left, that can give the ways to the entire globe, which is in turmoil. So therefore, what he is saying, if India dies, there is a place will reign the duality of lust and luxury as the male and female deities. And what is happening? That is a similar thing happening. Am I right? What he had predicted, what you could say, it is happening today. And with money as its priest. Right? Today is the vitamin A, which is working everywhere. Money and money, money, nothing else. That means we are on the path of dying, according to him. And fraud, force and competition, its ceremonies. Is it not happening? These are all things happening. Competition. Competition is not the thing. That is the Western way. What we need is cooperation, not competition. Am I right? And the human soul, its sacrifice, such thing can never be. It should never be, but we are following that. Vivekananda has talked about it. And so, if you look at Indian nation, cannot be killed, deathless, it stands, and it will stand so long as the spirit shall remain as the background. That is basically spirituality. Do not give up the spirituality, because spirituality is our strength, and that is the sanctum of Indian way of life. That doesn't mean that we can't have a materialism. It's the combination of both which will give you the strength, but not that market-driven materialism, because what we are now professing, and market-driven materialism makes a man maniac. Are you getting my point? Maniac means, what is the meaning of maniac? आधा पागल. पूरा पागल है तो पागल खाना में डाल सकते हो, आधा पागल है तो कहां डालोगे? और सब लोग आधा पागल हो गए, देश तो गया. वही हो रहा. So therefore, this country is in deep trouble, and we need to relook at it. So what are the things? What we are going to do? The spirituality is our goal, and for that we'll have to look at our scriptures. And for that, we'll have to learn the Sanskrit. Sanskrit is one of the best languages, rather is the best language of the entire world. It's the most scientific language. But unfortunately, majority of, maybe 99.9% people of India today not having any knowledge about Sanskrit. We talk in English, but English is one of the most unscientific languages of the world. Okay? It's unfortunate we are, talking in that and giving lectures to students, and people are mad after English, and they become mad also, half mad. So, and what is the next? Next is peace, love, and goal of human birth. That has to be looked at, and that is a part of our culture. The eternal truth and Sanatan Dharma. I told you, Dharma बहुत जरूरी है, जो सनातन है, जो इटर्नल है. And omniscience and chastity. That means if you have an education, you know how to know everything, and that Vivekananda was professing. Right, to some extent it has been manifested during his interaction during his lifetime. And supreme contentment with no motives, that is a very difficult to practice, but however it is essential for a national life. And divine mother as the woman, that is the Prakriti, what Bhagavad Gita has, I have already discussed about. So Swami Vivekananda, nationalism. Some of my friends, they say, what you are talking nationalism, it is a very parochial. They may ask me, they sometimes ask me, I told, look, that is not the thing what it is. And what Vivekananda has told, each nation has a destiny to fulfill. Each nation has a message to deliver. Each individual has a role to play. Similarly, each nation has a role to play. Each nation has a mission to accomplish. Therefore, we must have to understand the mission of our race. What is the mission of our race? Is the spirituality. The destiny, it has fulfilled the place it has to occupy in the march of nation, the role of which it has to contribute to the harmony of races. And that is our job, and that is our spirituality. Spirituality, if we profess properly with understanding, we can create the harmony, we can re-establish the harmony among all warring nations of the world. And that capacity our countries or our ancestors' wisdom is having. But we don't look at it. So his nationalism, that means the nationalism talked about by Vivekananda, is based on humanism and universalism. This is a very important point. And the cardinal feature of Indian spiritual culture, that is your spiritual culture, what our ancestors were having, but we do not have. We have forgotten that. We need to relook at it and revive it. He taught us to get rid of first inflicted bondage and resultant miseries, because all things what you need to have to overcome your bondage. Bondage of various kinds. I will not elaborate on that, and that really the turning point for inviting miseries. And we all become miserable people, our life become miserable because we are with the bondage, because bondage creates stress also. Unlike Western nationalism, which is a secular in nature, Swami Vivekananda nationalism is based on spirituality, which is the life blood of Indian people at that time. But today, we are lacking a lot. So therefore, deep concern for masses, freedom, equality, through which one expresses self-spiritual integration of the world on the basis of universal brotherhood. When we are talking about nationalism, it is not parochial, it is the universal, and we can create a harmony, we can re-establish the harmony among all races, or rather warring races. So that is the nationalism what is talking about. What is the way to do? That is Karma Yoga, a system of ethics to attain freedom, both political and spiritual, through the selfless service, make the basis of our nationalism. That is Vivekananda nationalism, is our nationalism, right? So he established the motherland's only deity, therefore we call Mother India. Deity means Mother India, to be the worshipped in the mind and heart of our countrymen. Let me tell you, if we imbibe this, if 10% of Indians will imbibe this spirit and this thing become a part of their life, my country, our India, the glorious India, we can re-establish, we can revive. But unfortunately, we have not done that till that. So what are the ways to the regeneration of our nation? We should feel proud of our past, derive our strength and inspiration from those glorious chapters of bygone days. That means you will be getting inspiration for our ancestors. Unless you look at them, you cannot really progress and prosper, because present emanates from the womb of past and future emanates from the womb of present. So therefore, if you forget about your past, you cannot march ahead and go and do something great, something good. So therefore, India is to be raised, the poor had to be fed, education is to be spread. Proper education, what I am talking about, humanistic education, not this inhuman education which is spoiling the people at this moment. That means we will have to have a proper education. So uplift the masses by restoring lot individually. Today people do not have faith in themselves. Faith is important. So therefore, and hope of any real good for the nation. And we do not believe, the parents do not believe their children. The teachers do not believe their pupils. The leaders do not believe their people. I can give several examples. Let's say, what are the key position today in India being given to whom? The people. Foreign or Indian origin foreign people are taking. Why? They have left the country. उनको हम क्यों दे? 135 करोड़ से लोग आदमी नहीं मिलेंगे क्या आपको टॉप पोजीशन में रखने के लिए? And they, what they do, these people, they basically work on the agenda of the IMF and WTO. Are you getting my point? Now, what we are doing, 135 crore people, you don't have a person to handle your thing after 72 years? And that is the thing, that is the cascading effect, and this whole society is like that today at this moment. We do not believe each other. So therefore, India lives in the, as I told earlier, upliftment of man deserves utmost priority, and only alter the can be the change, hope for any real good for the nation. Because who is the teacher of the children? Child. If you look at who is the first child of a who is the first teacher of a child? It's the mother. So mother today are in deep trouble. That's why I always tell, the modern mother is the mother of all the problems of mother India. Because mothers are frightened. They always say that, look, you go for a job, if you don't do, what will happen? They give the fears, the seeds of fears from the childhood to the children of their own child. They are doing damage. That means they should be educated. It's not only the father, it's not only the mother, it's also the father, the parents, the teachers, all are, what they are doing? They are making you frightened. They are giving you the seeds of, fear. So therefore, that has to be looked at. India lives in cottage. That is very important. We need to have a cottage industry. We need not to go for this, industrialization, what Western people have done, and they have spoiled the world in the name of development. And no amount of politics will be of any avail until the masses of India are once more well educated, well fed, and well cared for. That is very important. Our mission is for the destitute, poor, illiterate, and peasantry and laboring classes, and if after everything has been done for the first, there is a spare time, then only for the gentry they can do. So what is the solution? The solution is education, education, and education alone. That is the weapon by which we can eradicate the problems of the society and make a new society that can really based on the spirituality, and which we can go for a great nation and become a great nation. So what really is education? Is it having books? Like today you people are carrying a lot of books. And is it like that? The three-dimensional book, a teacher, he is just copying and making it two-dimensional in a blackboard, and we are student, as a student, we are just watching what is writing, taking down, noting down, and then mugging it up, and then vomiting on the examination hall and get the grade, and then you forget what it is. Is it education? वो टीचर, अच्छे टीचर कौन होता है? जो रट के आता है, रटा देता है, उसको अच्छे टीचर कहते हैं. उनको तुम लोग क्या कहते हो? अच्छे टीचर IIT में देते हैं ना, क्या कि बेस्ट टीचर अवार्ड, तो कौन करते हैं? न रटा देते हैं, बढ़िया बढ़िया लिख देते हैं, उनको टीचर कहते हैं. आप लोग भी कहते हैं. तो इज इट लाइक गेटिंग 100 मार्क्स आउट ऑफ 100? दैट इज टीचिंग. इज इट लाइक स्कॉलरशिप, टोपी उछालो, डिग्री मिल गया, तो उनको क्या एजुकेशन कहते हैं? अरे एजुकेशन है आपकी, इसको क्या क्या नहीं पढ़ते हो, whether whatever the things you learn, this X, Y, Z, so many things, everything in the world you learn, but you don't have anything knowledge. Are these images description of real education? Is? And Oh. But now what is this education? So therefore, we need to think what he has told. He says, no negative education, but positive education. What is happening today is the negative education. It started with British people. They introduced education system, Western education system, and we have spoiled it. And we are gone much beyond their imagination by which they were spoiling us. Are you getting my point? So, we are working, we have gone beyond their imagination to damage this country. And what is negative, what is positive education? He says that negative education or any training that is based on negation is worse than death. You may get a death, that is okay, you can get a new life. Because our Shastra says, Jatasya dhruvang mrittu janmasya cha. If you die, you will get a birth, nothing to worry. But this is worse than the death. And the child is taken to school. What is he was being imparted? This is the statement of Vivekananda, not mine. Okay, mine is that. What he is saying, first thing he learns that his father is a fool. You know, like most of you think that your parents are fools. Yes or no? Because you are educated, right? And the second thing, that his grandfather is a lunatic. Lunatics, you know, na? Pagal, Adha pagal, right? And the third thing, that all his teachers are hypocrites, right? And the fourth, and all the sacred books are lies, like your Bhagavad Gita, Upanishad, these are all काक and bulls, बेकार चीजें, क्यों देखना है? वेद, ये जो हमारा scripture है, all are not of your caliber, right? Therefore, it is useless, it is a lies. And by the time he is 16, he is mass of negation and lifeless and boneless. I call them living robots. I call them because this artificial intelligence is coming, sometimes I think, oh my God, is it that they will have to fight with robot, therefore they became robot. So if the people are given positive ideas and they will grow up to be men and learn to stand on their own legs. But today we are not, we are standing on the legs of media, lots of market forces, and legs of Western people ideas, and be the language, literature, poetry, arts, in everything, we must point out to mistake that people make. We must not point out the mistake people make in their action, thoughts, but the way in which they would do these things better. We always need not to criticize. We can say, look, you can improve on that, but we criticize too much. Okay? But it is important to find out flaws so that you can improve on that. And what symbolizes real education? Note that which weakens our mind, makes one superstitious, and make one more mope, and make one desire all sorts of wild impossibilities, mysteries. For example, the people are saying, oh, we'll send man to the Mars. I told, why you want to have? A lot of people comes to my aerospace engineer people, oh, I want to do this thing. I told, why you want to do? You have already spoiled this beautiful earth as a human being. You want to go and spoil the Mars also? Right. And how many people you can send? Somebody say, oh, our population is growing up, then we can send. How many people you can send? How much pollution you will make? How much money you will spend? Right? These are all things are coming to the mind, the people, and being propagated by this, market forces to make this impossible mysteries and superstitious. And but that which gives strength to the mind and make one realize the truth is education. And this is the words of, these are whatever I am saying is from Vivekananda. Okay? Through education will come faith in oneself, through which the inherent real nature, Brahman, wakes up. That is the goal of human being. The role of language, education must be colloquial language, that means in mother tongue basically. But what we are doing, we are imparting education in English, and who is spoken by their natives, the language which one naturally express himself, in which the person communicates anger, grief, and love. Are you getting what colossal wastage we are doing by introducing English, right? And all of us are a victim of the system, what is going on. And we need to fight it out and tell that this is not the way. Language is the chief means and index of nation progress. Language is big. Why is important? Because it is the carrier of culture and heritage. Without culture, there won't be any nation. So, if the vehicle of ideas and ideas that are prime important language comes after, the greatness of the teacher lies in the simplicity of the language. That is very important, and we are really in a problem because of our education is not imparted in our mother tongue. What real education is? Education is the manifestation of perfection already in man. Is it a perfection points to be blend of justice, love for all, selfishness, detachment from fruits of one's action. Whether we are having that, and education is that which molds one with the right character, skills, and towards self-confidence and self-respect. Today, people are suffering because of not having faith in themselves, suffering because they don't have self-respect. Majority of people I have seen in this country, whatever my little experience I am having, they are suffering. They are not living a life. Although they may having name, fame, and money and buildings, but they are not living a human life because they are lacking these two qualities with them. And those skills and education must manifest in which serves as a boon skill which lead to not limited to one's survival. It's only we are trying to survive. Survival is the fittest that is being taught to us by the time immemorial by the Western people, right? And the real education would comprise of ideals of renunciation and service. These are the two things what Vivekananda has emphasized time and again. The world results in the society striving constantly toward the higher levels of moral perfections, because morality is important, which is lacking today in our society. So we want the education by which you can really make the nation. And what are the ways to regeneration? The poor and peasants and the weavers from the villages, mountains must be given chance to manifest their strength, and the poor must be held, provided the bread and butter and education by the rich in the spirit of renunciation and service. The spread the education among the masses. Education means humanistic education. Not that inhuman, give them ideas, they will work out the salvation on their own. Education, eradication of poverty, not by elimination of spirituality. That means spirituality has to be really re-established among the people and not will be talked about it. So, Swami Vivekananda had immense faith in the youth of this country. But where are those youth today? Whether they are worried about nation, or they are worried about bread and butter, or they are worried about nothing in the WhatsApp or internet or in virtual world, and always saying that they are busy. Busy for what? So they would work out his ideas like lions. And Swami Vivekananda had immense faith in the youth of this country and said they would work out his ideas like lions. But where are lions? Where are they? They became like pigs. So, what we want are some young men who will renounce everything, sacrifice their lives for their country's sake. We should first form their lives, and then some real work can be expected. And three things are necessary to make every man great, every nation great. That is, we should have conviction in the power of goodness and the absence of jealousy, suspicion, and helping all those who are trying to be and do good. You should not help everybody. Whoever is interested to really help the country, help the society, help the others, neighbors and others, they should be helped. You must not depend on foreign help. This is very important point. And what we are doing? We are just inviting people and allowing other foreigners, companies to come over here and go and beg them money, come please and give job to our people. He says, you must not depend on foreign help. Nation like individual must help themselves. This is real patriotism. You should develop yourself. You should not beg and borrow and do your make your life. You should struggle hard to get your food if it is required for, and so also the nation. And if nation cannot do that, its time has not yet come. It must wait. It must strive. Wait means not that wait for in vain. It must strive to get what it wants. That is the message, and we are not following it today, and that's why we are spoiling this country. That's why we are spoiling the youth. That's why we are spoiling the whole nation. And be aware of anything that is untrue. Stick to the truth. We shall succeed. May slowly but surely. Works as if on each of you dependent on the whole work. 50 centuries are looking on you. The future of India depends on you. Depends on whom? Youth. But where are they? They are in the virtual world. They have taken over by the market forces, and market forces will be only for money. So therefore, they are being kept in the virtual world, and on the reality, on the ground, we don't have. That means we'll have to, and they are in some slumber. My youth today are in slumber, according to me. They are like Kumbhakarna. Now we'll have to make them be visioned so that they will do good to the nation. What are the solutions? To know about our root, to develop a faith in our culture and heritage, not a blind faith, because our Shastra says, Yukti Yuktang Bacho Grayam Bala Tapi Sukha Tapi Yukti Hinang Bachang Stejam Buddha Tapi Sukha Tapi. What is the meaning of it? It's basically take the logical thing from a baby, from a parrot, and don't consider illogical thing, even if it is told by the noble person or a intelligent man or a man of wisdom. So therefore, faith means with understanding, not blind faith. Because if you are a researcher, if you are a man of seer, you cannot really follow that way. So faith, but you should have faith. So to explore and experience our potentiality, because human being is having infinite potential as it is being enshrined in our scripture. So that potentiality we'll have to get, and to express ourselves for serving others selflessly. You cannot get, your infinite potential, realize your infinite potential unless you serve others selflessly. And to lead our life peacefully, family life, to progress and prosper our individual national life, because individual is very important, so also national, to develop humanist education system, to make human beings not asuras, to revive ancient science and technology, integrate with the mother nature. Today the technology is spoiling the world. Maybe another 100 or 200 years, all living beings may be extinct as per the prediction of Western researchers. So to revive and re-establish Indian way of life, that is very important. So what are the solution? By assessing the strength and weakness of our glorious nation, we are having strength, we are having weakness, channelizing creative energy and vigor of emerging young people of this country, impart a humanistic education to the make human being not asuras, binding all the nationalist group under one umbrella. See, all the people are working, but they do not know what they are doing. They should come together, and the fostering integrated and development scheme for all sections of society, promoting uniform civil code for all citizens, uniting all sections of our fragmented society for the noble cause of nation building, strengthening mechanism of active participation of the progressive people in local self-governance. This is very important. It's not that, it's the centralization, it's the decentralization is the key for the development of a nation like India. But that doesn't mean central government or central agencies should not be there. It should be there, but the more focus should be on decentralization. Developing skills of local people to participate in community-based organization, fostering community-based self-help groups and across the entire nation so that they will be empowered and they will be self-sufficient. They will feel they are a part of this country, this glorious country, so that they will improve upon. And what are the India's resources? Whether we are having resources to feed 150, 130 crore people, maybe tomorrow it will be 150 crore people. As compared to other nations, what are the resources we are having? Can anybody tell me? Resources, because when you want to run a country, we want to be a great country, then we will have to depend on the resources. What are the resources we are having? Can anybody tell me?
Mainly maybe agriculture,
Thorium. Agriculture. What else? What else we are having? Manpower. Very good. So let me just tell you, India has 52% of cultivable land as compared to world average 11%. Is it not a great thing? Right? And it is a very rich. In our land is very rich, fertile land. We spoil it in the name of green revolution and spoiling the air, spoiling the water, spoiling the everything, all living beings, because we followed them. Now, this is a very important. What else we are having? Hours of sunshine is quite high as compared to world average. Most of you people are suffering from deficiency of vitamin D. Vitamin D is available freely by sunshine, sun rays. Most of us are living sedentary life, and then we are not having vitamin, then we will take the tablets given by market. See, is it we are intelligent people? We are educated people? No, no. And for food, for agriculture, sunshine is required or not? Without sun, can you do anything? You cannot. So, therefore, we are fortunate enough that. And all 15 major climatic regions of the world we are having, not a single country in the world is having that natural, power, natural resources what we are having. This is a very great thing. And 10 biodiversity regions we are having. Are you getting my point? See, this lot of researchers are now living in jungle, taking our things so that they can generate genetic modified things, seeds, and they will sell to you. Biodiversity, they will not get in their region, they are taking from us. Are you getting my point? And what we are doing? We are not aware even, forget about that. So these are our strength. India has the largest livestock populations. हम लोग पहले बचपन में हम लोग जब थे, हम लोग गांव में खेती होता था और गाय पालन करते थे. क्यों? पता है? गाय को क्यों पालन करोगे? आजकल गाय कोई पालन नहीं करता है. Because you will have to rear animals, domestic animals. For what? For your benefit. You will be immunized. You will be not getting what you call psychosomatic disease. Pasu therapy, like this a new thing has come up in a Western country, that is therapy, animal therapy. From where they have learned? From us. But we left it. So therefore, animal livestock and larger number of rivers, but we have spoiled almost of all rivers. And minerals reservoirs, we are having enough. Coal, aluminum, bauxite, and several others. What is very important? We are having intelligent, energetic human beings and 135 crore people. But they are not good for the development of nation. They are working for whom? for their poor belly, poor, market forces and Western people. And all of us are intelligent and educated people, but we do not know. And they are intelligent, energetic, and that's why they are corrupted. Are you getting my point? We are corrupted because we are intelligent, we are uneducated. The same intelligence, same energetic or energy can be utilized for the nation building provided they become a human being. They become imparted humanistic education. Now who will do that? That is the $1 million question. We will do that. This is our problem. But this can be a solution, and that solution is can drive everything in the world. Not only our country, other country can imbibe our ideas. So what is the thing? Basically, how we have to develop a nation? Individual entity, is important. That means you will have to develop. What is the development? You should have a Vedantic mind. You will have an Islamic body. Should have a Buddhist heart and Christian service mind. What is that? Service. So therefore, you will have to develop like that. And once you develop as an individual and dedicate your life for the nation, and if at least 10% of the youth, total population, what are the youth today? From 20 to 40 ages, if I'll take, what are the percentage of people today? Any idea? Around 35%. 35% means what? Around 45, 42, 43 crore people. 42 crore people, if 10% means 4.2 crore people will dedicate their life, our country can be run like a bullet train on the path of progress and prosperity. Am I right? Nobody can stop us. But now, who will do that? Who will translate the ideas, the vision of Vivekananda into reality? And for that, we'll have to develop ourselves. We'll have to develop the self-development. First is myself. Self is important. And self will be dedicated for the society, for the nation. Objective self-development is to imbibe and work for personality development, to serve self, family, society, and nation. This is the order one has to follow. So, spirit, body, and mind, that is human life. We'll have to look at all this in balance. And for that, you'll have nutrition, you'll have health care, you'll have to everything, what you call environment, you'll have to take care of physical body, your feeling body, and mind body. That has to be evolved, that has to be developed, right? And if it is developed at unison, balance is the key, then you can contribute immensely for the nation. So, what do you need to the path of yoga? There is self-realization of your hidden power, which is infinite. That is the goal, but you will have to serve the society. By serving the society, you will achieve that your goal. And each soul is potentially divine, as I told earlier. You will have to do by bhakti, karma yoga, raja yoga, jnana yoga, which I discussed, and this is the whole of dharma or spirituality. So, the method of attaining the spiritual goal for human life, attaining the end of religion, is not a religion, right? It's a yoga. And karma yoga is a manner in which man realizes his own divinity through work and duty. Yesterday we are having a discussion on that karma yoga, which is very important. According to me, everybody should start with karma yoga, because that is the lesson one has to do that, because all are part of it. Bhakti yoga is a devotion and to the divinity and for the love and personal God, but here devotion for the nation. That is important, right? So when you are having, you will have to practice this. And Raja Yoga is realizing divinity through the control of mind, because mind plays a very important role. So therefore, you will have to practice this for serving the nation. And Jnana Yoga realizing divinity through the knowledge, because you will have to experience the knowledge, and knowledge is very important, and that also has to be practiced. It is not that one will do, it is the four. If you look at a stable system, is the four. If you look at your chair, four legs, that means it's stable. So, stability, purpose, all these 4 yogas, unification, what Vivekananda has talked about, has to be followed for developing as an individual, to serve the nation and family and other things. So, Indian family culture, what is that? That is basically self, then family clusters, so the village or town clusters, and the nation. This is Indian family. But now I can little extrapolate and say that each nation together is world family, right? But first we will have to take care of our own house, then we will talk about others. Unless we do ourselves, we cannot have right to talk about others. So therefore, this is the thing what we are working on. Awake Mother India, Jago Bharat Mata. Our thing is Satyameva Jayate. So we are working for that, and I am having certain ideas which I may discuss. I have not discussed this thing fully, what is to be done. I am having a plan how it can be done even at this moment, provided my youth and who are the fighter aircraft, and they should come, then only we can fight it out and win the war against the other things who are spoiling this country. So now question arises, how can you contribute as an individual and group for rebuilding of our glorious Mother India? Okay, thank you very much for listening to me.